I would like to sincerely thank the Isaac Regional Council, along with the Regional Arts Development Fund, for their support in bringing you this interview. The Regional Arts Development Fund is a partnership between the Queensland Government and Isaac Regional Council to support local arts and culture in regional Queensland. Like any newly married couple, Michael and Tracey Litfin were looking forward to building their future together and didn't plan on wasting any time making their mark on the world. Tracey was pregnant within months of the wedding, and their world was filled with a lot of excitement. Sadly, that excitement turned to heartache when Tracey had a fall from her horse, which left her in a coma for months. Devastatingly, doctors told Tracey's family that it was unlikely she'd ever wake up, but they didn't count on Tracey's resilience or the power of the love that she had in her life. Tracey has recently written her story, If You Fall, and she kindly sat down to tell me all about it. Tracey, thank you so much. This is a much anticipated interview for me because it's been in the makings for a while, hasn't it?
Yes, it has, yes.
Anyway, we finally get to sit down, so thank you for your time. So, Tracey, I want to start with at the accident, the day that it happened. Do you remember much about it? Do you remember actually what happened or, the moments before, or is that just all blank?
No, that's pretty well all blank. I have had memories return from that morning. Like I know that I had one of the local vets was there doing some preg testing with our paddock cows that morning, but that was obviously before the accident. And I know I've had he was actually at the feedlot one day a couple of years later, and I said to him all of a sudden, "You were there that morning, weren't you?" And he said he knew what I was talking about, and he said, "Yeah, I was." And but apart from that, I have no real recollection of that day for quite a few months afterwards. Yeah. And
Trace, were you only 21 when it happened?
I was, yes.
So your life is just starting.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the best year of your life, but most of mine it was spent in hospital.
Yeah, because you'd only been married for a few months, hadn't you? And you actually spent your first wedding anniversary in hospital, which is just incredible.
Yeah, I'd been married in end of December the year prior. The accident happened at the start of September. Yeah, so I'd only been married a matter of 8 months.
Yeah. And Tracey, the news was really very grim for your family, which must have just been so difficult to hear the doctors tell, your husband Michael and your family that you would never wake up, or if you did, you would live the rest of your life in a vegetative state. Have they talked to you about what that felt like for them, and then the miracle that occurred when you did wake up?
They haven't actually said the words as such, but I can imagine how hard and heartbreaking it must have been. Here I was, only 21. The world was my oyster, so to speak. I just graduated from ag college with top marks. I had myself a secure job. As it turns out, I was newly pregnant. I was newly married. My life was just beginning, and then this happened. So, of course, for me, it was traumatic, but I wasn't there. I wasn't awake. But, yeah, for my family, it must have been gut-wrenching.
Yeah. I read somewhere, Michael, that when you woke up, he said to you, well, you were too bad for heaven and too good for hell, so you just had to stay here. That was gorgeous.
Yeah.
It must have been very, very difficult for him as a young person, and for your mum and dad. Amy's 22 now and Hutton's nearly 20, and I just think as a parent, you know, if I had to watch my child go through that, and I know you're a mum now, so you probably understand more now that you're a mum, what your parents felt. Tracey, the other tragedy was, and I hope you don't mind me mentioning it, was that you were actually pregnant and they took the baby, they aborted the baby because they believed that you weren't going to wake up. That must have been a big blow to you.
Well, actually, when I found out, because like I was at the stage when I was at Caloundra Rehabilitation Centre when I found out that I had been pregnant, because I had no memory at that stage of the fact that I had been pregnant. And yes, it was a blow, but see, it suddenly made sense to me, because when we used to sit out the front of Caloundra Rehabilitation Centre, we got to notice a pattern happening that on a certain day each week, very heavily pregnant ladies were coming into the hospital, the rehabilitation centre, which was, I think it must have been a part of the private hospital. And at least, and like that was making me feel really uncomfortable, seeing these heavily pregnant ladies. And you know, at the time I thought to myself, well, don't be silly, Tracey. You're only 21. You're at the start of your married life. You know, you've got lots of time for babies. You're certainly not in the position to be, wanting to have a baby right now. So don't be silly. But when I found out the fact that I had actually been pregnant, it suddenly made sense to me as to why I had these feelings. You know, it just made sense.
It's amazing how you don't think you know, but actually within yourself you do know that something's just not quite right. And you went on to have two beautiful children, so you're very, very blessed, Tracey. But Tracey, have you ever come to any conclusion as to actually what happened that day? Did you get bucked off, or did the horse just stumble, or do you know anything about what may have caused?
I don't know what caused him. I have the opinion that he must have bolted. I don't know why he has bolted, but because I've had recollection, I've had feelings of having sore hands as I'm trying to pull the horse up, and I've had feelings, I've had visions rather of things flying past as I'm going really fast on the horse, and like that, the feelings of having sore hands and of things flying past has led me to the conclusion that he's bolted. Why, I don't know. But see, where I was found in the paddock, apparently it was near a contour bank. So I'm thinking that he's come up to the contour bank, stumbled, which has, dislodged me, and then he's flipped and has landed on top of me and laid there for a bit while he's and as he's flipped, because I was found near a brand new barbed wire fence as well, and it was broken. And I'm thinking that as he flipped, he must have tangled up with the fence and cut his legs. And as he's laid on me, he's bled on my legs. Because see, when they found me, I had blood all on my jeans from my knees down. But I had no broken skin apart from a slight graze on my head. So, where did the blood on my lower legs come from, when the only one with anything wrong with them, like cut-wise, was my horse. He had cuts all up and down his back legs.
And I guess, it'll always only ever be guesswork. It remains a mystery, but at least you can put a few of the pieces of the puzzle together, I guess, Tracey.
Yeah.
I actually love looking through your page because it is just filled with quotes and beautiful, uplifting quotes about strength and resilience and courage. And I gather that that just must be how you must live your life. You must live your life by those quotes, and you're obviously a very positive person. So am I right in saying that you just get so much strength from those things that you put up?
I do, yes. And I like them, so I like to share them, share them with my friends and my page so that other people can see them, because they might not have come across them if I hadn't put them out there, sort of thing. But yeah, I like to think that I'm a very positive person. What's happened in the past has happened, and you can only move forward. No point looking back.
And Tracey, what a wonderful teacher you are to your kids, because they have obviously grown up with all this positivity around them, and knowing your story and how courageous and resilient that you are. So what a great thing for them. They have no choice but to be courageous and resilient and brave and strong and kind. And you must love that about them, knowing that, they're going to be wonderful adults because of what you've been through, really.
Yeah, I do love it. And I've always taken pride in the fact that my kids have been so kind-hearted. They're willing to help anybody. They're open to any situation. Like a lot of kids, just because it's different to what they know, they think it's wrong, if you know what I mean. But my kids, they just take everything as it is. And, yeah, I just love that about them.
Yeah. Tracey, what ongoing complications do you have, like physically, from the accident? So how does that affect your everyday life?
Well, I still can't use my right arm and hand properly. My balance is still an issue. It is getting better. It's been, this year will be 19 years in September. But I feel that I'm still improving. My family was told that I would improve for the first year, and then that would basically be how I would be. But I still feel I'm improving even to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was only a couple of weeks ago, I got on my horse and off my horse again for the first time, all by myself. Prior to then, I've had like one of my kids and my husband there to help me pull my leg over when it gets stuck on their rump or on the back of my saddle. But yeah, this time I did it all by myself, and I was so happy.
Tracey, what was it like for you the first time that you did get back on a horse? Because that's a pretty major thing after such a traumatic experience, fronting up again. So that must have been tough.
Well, call me a fool if you want to, but I believe it was just something that happened. I can't blame the horse. I don't know what happened, so I can't blame the horse. I'm fair in that respect. So yeah, the first time I got back on a horse, I was more nervous about how I was going to get on the horse than I was about actually riding. But when I actually got on the horse, it was the best feeling. Yes, I had nerves, and I will always have nerves about, what might happen. But you know what? Your horse picks up on those nerves, so you can't let it worry you too much if you're going to enjoy your ride, because otherwise your horse is going to be too uptight as well.
Oh, Tracey, I've had goosebumps listening to you. I want to ask you, because you're going on a ride, like a huge ride soon, aren't you, at Kilkheven, the Great Australian or Great Kilkheven Horse Ride? Or
Yeah, the Kilkheven Great Horse Ride.
Yeah.
I'm going on the Tansy Trail, which leaves here from Tansy and goes through to Kilkeban.
So how long will that take?
I think it's a fairly well all morning, all day ride. Yeah.
Yeah, right, okay. Yeah. I think times like days like that where you're just riding along with other people, you know, who have the same interests as you, and it can be a really therapeutic and special time, can't it? Just to spend.
And the best thing is that I'm doing it with my daughter.
Oh,
Rachel's going to be doing it as well. So yeah, that we'll be there together.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh, Tracey, how special. Now, your book, If You Fall, it's available through your website. So tell us how we can get the book. And
okay, my book, If You Fall, is available on my website, traceylitfin.com.
Yep.
It is available in local areas in different shops.
And your Facebook page is Tracey Litfin Author, isn't it?
That's right, yes.
Yeah. And there's actually a video there of you getting on a horse for the very first time, which is really, really special. So anyway, I encourage everyone to go and look at your Facebook page and read some of those really beautiful quotes. And but Tracey, thank you, and I really look forward to meeting you sometime.
Yeah, well, hopefully one day we will.
Yeah, no doubt we will. We live in a small place, really, don't we?
It is, and it's getting so much smaller these days too.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Tracey, and thank you so much for your time, and good luck with the book. I've read the first couple of chapters which you sent to me, which I was very grateful for, so I'm looking forward to reading the entire thing very soon.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, Tracey. See ya.
Thanks so much for watching our video. I hope you enjoyed it, and please try to remember to just click on the subscribe button so we can keep you updated with everything that's happening. Thank you.